Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Stasis, where today we are trapped in a room with an automated machine gun that attempts to murder us if we go anywhere near the only door. Sorry, attempts to. Successfully, very successfully murders us if we attempt to go anywhere near the only door. And, you know, we don't have a whole lot of tools to use to solve this problem. Can I throw the pistol at the door to solve the...
Work like that.
No, but I think if I threw the pistol at the door, it would trigger the motion detector. All right, let's go back underground. Is there... What am I supposed to be doing with this computer? I hate crawling around in here. I apologize for how slow this is. Also, they really recorded a lot of crawling through the duct VO. I mean, so what is this for? Replace cable sleeving, maintenance overdue, but like we know, you know, months of... So what, the whatever's been going on has been going on for 3 months. Maintenance is overdue by a significant amount more than that, but you know, stuff was going to hell around here sort of slowly for a long time. This is the magic of capitalism, right? It never makes sense to do the small upkeep tasks if you're if all of your thinking is always like only as far as the end of the next quarter. But there's simply no buttons on that as far as I can tell. And in fact, it's closing. To be clear, I'm not clicking or anything. Yeah, that's really weird. Well, can I just break it? Smash it with the pistol. Yeah, I agree. It is a good idea. You should... Okay. Smash it with this can of soda. Oh, or just open and pour the soda into it. That's actually... All right, I guess that's a plan. So I can't interact with it any further from there. Well, let's see if that does it, I guess. Who's prepared to still get shot? I'm just gonna try one more time. Can I just throw the pistol?
I don't think that'll work.
All right, let's see what happens. I'm gonna try to run like all the way through. No, John, I need you to run in front of it.
I hate doors.
Okay.
One override coming up.
Oh, that's easy enough.
Shit, John.
Never mind.
The security systems in medical are inaccessible. It's like they've been locally reset. I can't access anything.
I'll think of something.
I kind of thought it was still gonna pop up and just not work anymore, but okay, well. Oh, hold on. Now I can interact with the disconnected sentry gun. I couldn't before, could I? I'm fairly sure I couldn't. That sucks. Your ability to, Yeah, your ability to pick that thing up should not be conditional on whether you've solved a completely disconnected puzzle.
Wow.
Across the room. Like, that, yeah, that's really a bummer. You should be able to do that no matter what, and then, even with the thing open, if you try to run through, you should still get mowed down. And that's how they make you still do that puzzle. I don't really... That feels like a very, immersion-breaking kind of limitation. I don't know. Alright, lots of blood everywhere. No bodies. I guess let's keep moving. I am curious where the bodies have gone.
Warning. This area is off limits to all active PDT users. Please see your supervisor for further instructions.
That makes no sense. All PDTs. That's everyone. They must have changed security settings. Stop anyone from heading down below.
Or coming up.
It's a little bit of a bummer that John can't tell her what we already know about why they did that. Okay, so here's another destroyed sentry gun. I guess I need to be, like, wary of panels on the floor, right? More disturbing evidence of a slaughter, and also a PDA. You'd be happy to never see another tubular conveyance in your life. Yeah, so far everyone has worked out super well for us, so I definitely don't want to step in there. I guess let's start reading. Erica Boxer. That utter jerk. I cannot believe that asshole. What kind of man dumps a girl on their anniversary? Poor Danica's in hysterics. I had to swap my shifts on account of that prick. Sadie made that easy enough. She's such a good friend to me. We were inseparable at nursing school until she decided to branch out into botany. Seems she suited more to general medical research than patient care. That's fine, I don't mind. I prefer working with people to plants anyway. The new walkway in hydroponics is a bonus, too. Some of our boys like to stretch their new limbs among the greenery. Who said that the new departments were of no use? This is selfish, I know, but damn it, I've had so much on my plate. I'm having to do serious overtime, and then ungrateful turds like Eric mean I've got even more to deal with. Oh, my poor baby sister. Body of a 30-year-old woman, mind of a 16-year-old girl. Apparently, he says being the pilot of the Ozymandias is just too much pressure on a relationship. As is that sweet little co-pilot he recently acquired. I've had it up to here with pilots. Are they ever not chasing tail? Well, tonight should be okay, as I've got Danica coming around with some of the girls, and a shipment of Martian champagne. The budget increase is proving to be a blessing and a curse. We've got more equipment for sure, but nowhere near enough space for it. If only the Groom Lake was one of those modular types, we might be able to get some extra room. Sadie and I are working our butts off around here. God bless Sadie. If it wasn't for her, I'd probably be an alcoholic by now. Danica is still not over her douchebag ex and calls me up crying most nights just to talk about how she misses him. Next time I see him, I'm going to punch his lights out. You know, I worry about Danica. And she's depressed, she's not eating, not sleeping. I might ask Ingracia to book her in for an appointment. She needs a shrink. Work-wise, the regeneration tanks are working beautifully, but the increased demand for them means we're running short of chemical dissociation agents. And the cell regrowth regeneration fluid is pretty much spent. Speaking of the fluid, it's this new stuff Dr. Milan's unit has had us using. It's technically the same as the last stuff, but I'm sure the molecular composition is different. Apparently it's 4 times as effective, but it seems kind of unpredictable, actually. I've already asked Dr. Harvey to request that we switch back to the old stuff, which he has done twice. Why are they ignoring us? And then a pretty big gap in entries there until September. Crazy huge brawl in the mess hall today. All the guys sweating and looking like they OD'd or something. There's been a spike in violent assaults. I'd swear it has something to do with the new supplies that came in. Ever since that new regen fluid, it seems like everything else is slightly off too. I'm sure of it. Diet, medicines, genetic samples, you name it. I spoke to Sadie and she also swears there's been tampering. The idea we've been ingesting bad food for months scares the shit out of me. I'm going to get a friend of mine to analyze some samples. Until then, I'm locking my door at night. I'm not sure who I can trust. Sadie's been giving me strange looks too. I might actually change the lock. Okay, so there may have been some kind of like larger scale, well, I guess not. I was going to say larger scale problem than we've been aware of. Most of the problems we've been aware of are pretty large in scale. But if it's also the case that like basically they've been eating food that's been having psychoactive effects or damaging them in some way. God, that shit is terrifying. Can you imagine like being on a space station and knowing that the only food sent to you by the only people who would ever send you food is effectively toxic? Like, what else are you gonna do? You can't leave. You can't. Ugh. Space is not a place for me. I don't care anymore. I just don't care. I have to see Danica. I have to. She's with 2 others near the hangars, and I'm stuck here in medical. 2 rifles taken from Malone and Bird, and a laser scalpel. That's all we have to get there. Sadie keeps fighting me on this and making excuses. She's starting to piss me off. Has that idiot forgotten where we are? That the Groom Lake is now a freaking hunting ground, and my sister's in the middle of it? I don't fucking care if they don't come with me. I have to see my sister. I have to know about Danica. I heard her on the radio a day or so ago, so I know she's still alive. She has to be hiding. Danica was always better than me at hide and seek back home. It took hours to find her. Once, Mom sent a search party for her, and she'd been hiding at the bottom of the garden, tucked inside a dirt hole where Dad was planting beets. She's hiding. She has to be. Sadie is causing me problems. If she won't come along with me, I guess I'll have to make her come along, whether she wants to or not. That doesn't seem... I feel like you could just go without her. Emails, inbox and outbox. From L. Musgrave to E. Boxer regarding the food enhancement report. Dear Erica, I was under the misapprehension that your request was perhaps just paranoia, but given the tests I've performed on the provided samples, well, I have to be honest, its implications are frightening. I will generally concur with your initial theory that some batches just went bad, but there's clearly more than spoilage at work. Sorry, much more than spoilage at work. You have to understand that when batches like this are spoiled, they are all spoiled, not just a few. A fungus, for instance, will spread through samples, but there is an astonishing difference between the samples you sent me. Some seem to have been cultivated quite for the qualities they demonstrate. Did you know the brassica sample is enhanced with a genetically enhanced form of PCP? I know this because I tested the sample on one of my rats. The poor little thing lashed out violently, suffered a seizure, and then died. The precise name is DV85, a drug that was popular for enhancing the abilities of so-called remote viewers during the eugenics wars. Laboratory-created stuff, all designer, all professional. The most alarming part is that, owing to the different genetic strains seen in the 5 samples you sent for analysis, I get the impression that these contaminants were deliberately distributed to both staff and patients. I'm not sure what lunatic would do such a thing, least of all on a long-haul lab ship, but I've already sent a request to my superiors at the Ministry to examine the matter further. On an informal note, please look after yourself, Erica. You are always my best pupil, and I'm pleased you chose to confide in me. I do apologize that it has taken so long to get back to you. Be careful. With fondest affection, Luke, Professor L.H. Musgrave, University of Tampa. Okay, well that's like phenomenally bad news.
I think I found the crew.
Are they also bloodied up, like the guy under the floor?
You could say that. I'm not sure how many people I'm looking at, but it's like something from a eugenics war painting.
Try to push through, John. A few decks below, one step at a time.
Yeah, right. It is an awful lot of blood on the floor, and just kind of a lot of everything. Okay, Sadie. So Sadie's logs start at September. I thought that becoming the new head medical tech on this deck would actually improve things, but it's like being thrown into the lion's den. The lockdown a few months back was a pain, but these inventory discrepancies are the real problem. And then yesterday the systems went haywire. First thing Erica does, of course, is call up her little sister to make sure she's okay. I suppose I can understand that. I just wish that, well, I wish she'd ask after me sometimes, too. Yesterday, during the power outage, I was locked inside a storage room for 2 hours. But Danica's fine, of course, so who cares about me? I was only trapped in a product storage room with only plant cultures and human limbs for company. You know, I took a look at them, actually. It's part of my job, with the plants, anyway. And I had to do something to keep my mind off things. Good specimens, all of them. Except for samples 99, D, E, and F. I couldn't for the life of me work out why samples this badly mutated would be permitted anywhere near the greenhouses. These are recent, too. Dear God, what imbecile in shipping sent these to storage? Kane's Hydroponics have the strictest quarantine regulations in the galaxy, punishable by losing your damn job. It must be that new section a few floors down. They got all kinds of fools on the payroll. You know, I usually like to spend time in the greenhouses, but I swear something's going fuddy with some of the new crops. Erica said I'm probably just imagining it, but I had a whole batch of brassica growth cultures thrown out the other day, showing signs of what looked like Dutch elm disease. How is that even possible? I'm going to submit a report. Excuse me. How I'm supposed to explain to Dr. Milan and the board that we have mutant cultures in storage and perfectly good crops with extinct diseases is another matter. And then all the way to December. Erica's lost her damn mind. I'm scared out of my mind right now, and she's dragged us on a fool's errand across the ship to look for Danica. I tried to tell her how I saw one of those things wearing Danica's face the other morning. Oh god, it makes me want to puke just thinking about it. It looked like a deflated balloon as it scuttled up the walls. I swear Ingracia fried it with a bolt, but we can't be sure. He's a psychiatrist, not a soldier. Then again, are any of us soldiers? Erica seems to think we're in the Marine Corps, waving around that rifle with a crazy look in her eye, threatening to kill anyone who disagrees with her. Erica, I told her, you are a nurse. God, I barely recognize her anymore. What happened to my best friend? What happened to that girl from Stokely, Mississippi? I don't know who Erica Boxer is anymore. Erica died this morning. My friend is gone. One of those horrific things tore her spine out of her body right in front of my eyes. I must be one of the last ones left alive. Not that I've got long. I'm infected with something. I can feel it. I checked out the hydroponics lab this morning. It's a wreck. Yeah, I could have told them. Anyone could have told them that trying to breed a new fungus to kill the old one would be disastrous. The rest of it won't budge. I've tried tearing it away with the laser scalpel Erica gave me, but it did nothing. Zip, zilch, nada. What doesn't kill it really does make it stronger. I'm going back to retrieve Erica's remains later. I know she died a crazy woman, but she was still my friend. I still love her. Okay, well. Things have gone so well for everybody. Notices and reports. For those of you able to receive messages on the intranet, yeah. Where your PDTs will be removed. We know all about this. From S.A. Callister to Dr. Milan regarding inventory anomalies. So the emails don't have dates on them. Dr. Milan, first, allow me to apologize for mailing you directly, but this is a classified red emergency. I've undertaken further inspections beyond samples 99D, E, and F, and found that the majority of our inventory has been compromised by tampering. There are signs that the tampering began some time ago. Some of the materials are merely spoiled, but a large quantity appears to have been illegally modified. Now, I'm not sure who the new suppliers are, but the inventory they've provided does not match the chemical manifest included. I'm aware this is a shipping concern rather than a hydroponics one, but Project Seed is based around our successful cultivation of hypernutritious plants in unusual conditions. With the current stock we possess, there's no limit to the number of illegal or mutated nutrients going into our plant growth. I'd advise that shipping and medical begin more thorough inspections of received cargo. I suspect the problems could go back for months, though I have no evidence to prove this. Please recommend immediate termination of supply runs and decontamination of irrigation pipes until this is resolved. Best regards, Sadie Callister, Hydroponics Technician Level 1. I mean, immediate termination of supply runs, obviously, going to create a lot of problems. From eBoxer to S.A. Callister regarding encrypted. Sadie, I love you very much, sweetie, but have you lost your damn mind? Those samples are restricted. What if Dr. Milan finds out you brought samples from out of the storage bays? It's not only your job you'll be losing. I'll do what you ask, but only because you've never been wrong before. Though I pray to God you are this time. Love, Erica. Okay, well, there's blood and tissue on the wall that I can interact with. Fun. Oh, I just scooped it up, did I? Okay, this is some adventure game ass bullshit. Why would you do this? I know the answer is because we will need it for a puzzle later, but how does he already know that, you know? We should step into the elevator at least, right? And just, like, look at it. Okay. Apparently it's fully non-functional, or there's no buttons, at least. Is there any more goop that I want to just pick up off the walls here? It's like an abstract painting. From one angle, it's the handiwork of something mindless and automated, but from another, these brushstrokes are angry with rage. That's the worst way to be angry. Or, worse, indiscriminate and gleeful. I don't see any more of those sentry gun panels on the floor, but they could just be under the blood, right? Charged plasma molecules dart across the surface of an invisible electrical field. It's not really that invisible. We have another one of these things where we can, like, look through. Okay, well, the medical system was saying something to me. I guess it doesn't matter what. It was talking about my serotonin levels being weird earlier, too. I don't really know what to make of what we're seeing through there. Okay. Unlike much of the other machinery, this terminal was designed to assist in healing. What? Is the other medical machinery not? Alright, several bent spinal hooks protrude from a disengaged personal data tag.
Her back. It's been cut open.
Of course! They must have manually removed the PDTs. That's why the security systems were reset in medical.
Oh, the bodies. The bodies in the crew quarters. They were skinned. The creatures were using the PDTs to move through secure areas.
Must have realized what was going on.
So for me to get to the lower decks.
You have to remove your tag.
Remove?
Perhaps electric shock. No, that wouldn't work. John? This is the only surefire way.
What are you saying?
The surgery pod should already be programmed to remove it.
It didn't work out so well for this poor woman.
It's the only way, unless you space jump between decks.
This is surgery.
John, prep the pod.
Okay, so to be fair, she went in face down. Maybe that's her mistake. We'll lay on our back. So I was trying to interact with this PDA over here, and then he just kind of ran over to that table for some reason. All right, Isaiah Al-Raj Kapar. We have seen this name at least before. January 8th. A new year for the chief surgeon and a new year for the staff of the medical deck. I have to think of it that way, or it gets rather confusing. The staff of the medical deck now consists of 3 extra sections: cybernetics, tissue regeneration, and, for some reason, medicinal hydroponics. Yes, it may be medicinal, but as I told Dr. Milan, they are still plants. I don't wish to seem ungrateful. It is Kane Corporation who opened so many new doorways for me, and who redefined the frontiers of medicine for us all. As a man who served his apprenticeship on the battlefields, elbow deep in the blood of innocence, to see those deserts and war-torn villages reborn as images of nirvana is a privilege, and all thanks to the sciences of Kane. And yet it's hard to understand why, on the Groom Lake, so many departments are being forced to share resources like this. I hear our budget will be up for review soon, and the chances of us getting an increase are slim. I shall try to remain positive. My goodness, a 300% budget increase. I have not yet been able to even imagine how helpful this financial windfall will be. Dr. Milan assured me that a sizable portion of this budget will be applied to Project Seed. It makes our work that much more essential. We'll order new equipment and new samples, though I don't totally agree with the ethics of Dr. Milan's acquisition of volunteers for surgery and testing. Boy, that's a very gentle complaint given what exactly his methods are. The leaps and bounds we've made in our research more than make up for the rest of it. Is it wrong that we must test the limits of morality for the greater good? But I don't know that you do, it doesn't seem like you do have to test the limits of morality for the greater good. It seems like you're choosing to because it's cheaper. I am a surgeon who has seen many awful things in the blood-soaked abattoirs of the Pangea Wars, so perhaps this should be second nature to me. But I don't recall agreeing to the use of children for testing. I went to inspect the stasis tubes at the request of my chief nurse and found that there were several children, some as young as 9 years old, awaiting processing. Children! I was shocked and appalled and demanded an explanation from Dr. Milan. Edward Jenner had to test vaccines on children to see if they'd work, he said. I knew the story, what medical does not. Jenner injected infected purulent exudates into the child's arm, which must have seemed like callous disregard for the child's life. And yet it saved the boy. This is how he convinced me. We are at the frontier of the sciences. Chances must be taken. I do not always feel comfortable with his ethical choices, but the logic is sound. The research is too valuable for us to let a few moral qualms get in our way. Yep, okay, good. That's always a good place. Solid foundation for what is to follow. And then all the way to December. I fear that my decision to become a surgeon with Kane Corporation is not quite as simple as I thought. The first casualties of the infection spreading across the ship came to my lab, where we had to set up a quarantined operating room. I had to get hands-on with a patient for the first time in years. The flow of blood, the cutting of infected tissue using my specialized tools. Oh, God forgive me, but I enjoyed it. It's impossible to explain the adrenaline rush from playing God in such a way, of having the lives of so many on the verge of death in your hands. I felt it on the battlefields, and I feel it now. It is not the beauty of birth that moves me, it seems, but the pungent stench of death. I thought I'd joined Kane Corporation to save my soul. Instead, it is to slake the thirst of the beast in me, whose jaws slaver at the scent of blood. I am ashamed. A lot of deep soul searching occurred in the gap between those entries, I guess. How could I not have seen it? Those awful life forms are disguising themselves as us, inside us. They wear our skins and our PDTs, which explains how the security systems cannot detect them. If I didn't already know where those creatures came from, this would perhaps be less frightening. But they've learned the vile abominations. Abomination. What a word that is. It appears to summarize what we, have created in our hubris. We have created evil. God help us all. So it sounds like the PDT is in the epidermis, right? It's like in the skin layer. That doesn't sound like it should be so bad to have it removed. I guess depending on the size of it. So this steel tank stores oxygen-rich compounds under high pressure. I am not allowed to actually pick it up. Cryopreservation tank. This thick viscous syrup is a cocktail of cryoprotectant and synthetic amniotic fluids. Also a thing I'm allowed to touch. That one I'm allowed to just pick up. That's an empty stasis fluid container. Okay. And in a surgery suite, at least one of these would be anesthetic. Your guess is that it's this one. Oh, I do love to guess. I so love the guesswork. Can I... Wait, how am I supposed to do this surgery pod prep? It doesn't look like I'm actually allowed to... Oh, here's the extracted PDT. That lady's PDT, I guess. Okay. So... There's not a lot of other interactables around here, though. A high-end surgery pod, sophisticated enough to perform nearly any operation with a tiny margin for error. You know, tiny. Well, okay, so... It is a container for stasis fluid. We don't have any stasis fluid. We have anesthetic. Can I...
I think that will just break it.
Okay, I am not supposed to fill this with anesthetic. I'm not sure how I prep the pod, given that basically nothing here is interactable. Okay, I guess that...
Prepared for the selected program.
Well, that seems like a problem. Can I interact with it now? No. Well, I mean, it told me it's not prepared for the thing. I don't know what to do to prepare it. We can look around a little bit more, I guess. There is a path we didn't take. Back up in this room. The stenciling on this door indicates that it leads to reception. Wait, did I make sure? Can I pick up any part of this gun? No, okay. Yep, so even more.
Never again. It crawled through the night and then they crafted their eyes and tore through my skin. Oh, never ever, never again. They came for our mothers and then for our kin, scratching the blood and eating their sin.
Okay, it's pretty intense in here.
A seed to begin. We burn them with fire and kill them with men. Let us remember, never again.
Personal data tag detected, John Maracheck. Tag has no security clearance. System is locked. Okay. Can I click slightly off the bottom left of the screen? Sure, absolutely I can. What about this data tag? Detect this one. Okay, I've set it on the chair, I guess. Elizabeth Swanson. Force field off. Cool. Probably. Maybe. Maybe that's cool. Wait, would that have deactivated the other force field that we saw as well? Because that door's still locked. Indeed. Okay. Some blood-stained environmental suits that I'm allowed to touch. Okay. A cylinder for oxygenation.
Profanity, derogatory comments, or
It doesn't say on it how empty or full it is, but I feel like this is the point, right?
I don't think this will fit.
Oh, okay, maybe that's not the point. Also, I totally missed this organic receptacle earlier. A protein and fat storage chamber. Should I throw this body part I found in there?
The organic matter receptacle requires refined biological tissue.
Okay, so not just any garbage you happen to find laying around. Fair enough. Wait, he said I don't think this will fit, but the tank is gone from my inventory. Okay, that's weird. I don't think we've ever had something get dropped on the ground before. Although they are saturated with human ichor, these suits are in working order. Okay. Maybe we can effectuate a space jump. Alright, this pod looks like it hasn't been connected in quite some time, so we found a bunch of stasis pods. That's okay. It's a description of a molecule of some kind.
Tia, a survivor.
Is someone alive?
Not exactly. He's in stasis.
It could be dangerous to wake someone from stasis without the proper procedures being followed.
Yes, I
Who
know.
the hell woke me?
Forget him, John. You need to think about the mission.
Okay, how do I... Nothing here is interactable in the slightest. And pressing escape just brings up the pause menu. Okay, I have to click down and to the left of it. Okay, these things, I mean, everything here is in kind of disrepair. There's no big surprises. So we have an empty stasis pod. The familiar stasis pod design is the harbinger of sadness. And impossibly, in the middle of all this slaughter, there is another survivor, clearly alive. His life signs seem normal. How aware is he of what has happened on board the Groom Lake? Is leaving him in there maybe the kindest thing we could do for him until we manage to, you know, figure something out? Okay, something is real busted here. Although the screen looks functional, something's broken within. It won't work. Yeah, all I can do is back out. Okay. This door is made from medium-strength industrial compound, but has been torn apart like paper. Well, it doesn't necessarily mean that whatever was here is still here, right? And then we have an empty pod over here that I'm also allowed to interact with. Just to see how exactly it failed, I guess. Okay. Interesting. I guess let's take a peek. Legs. Yep, that is definitely the bottom half of some actual person. The red lights cast long, wicked shadows across the victim's face, and also, their exposed viscera. The femurs have buckled in opposite directions and have been ripped from their sockets. Cool.
Another body. Or two.
Burke Carter. Be still my beating heart. I saw the most divine creature in hydroponics. She's friends with that nurse, Erica. Erica gives you the evil eye, but Sadie is just a divine thing. Curves in all the right places and the face of an angel. I keep trying to come up with reasons to visit the medicinal hydroponics section. She never sees me, though. I'm not trained medical staff. Those soldiers in the recovery rooms give me funny looks if I'm at the window trying to get her attention. I have to find a way to speak to Sadie directly. I've seen her head to the decontamination room, and she seems to go there after every shift. I might try and strike up a conversation by one of the machines, maybe offer to buy her a drink. I'll do it tomorrow, or maybe the day after, because tomorrow I've got a double shift. Still, it takes a brave man to work on unknown sciences in the bosom of the cosmos, doesn't it? Like the jocks back at school would ever be able to do what I friggin' do. I risk life and limb to repair essential electronics, and that takes courage. I may not be a soldier, but I think I have the right to call myself a man of courage. Okay, so this guy is, pathetic, and he kind of knows it. There's a deep insecurity going on here. And he sees Sadie as a way to sort of soothe that insecurity for a while. What's with this shutdown? Jesus, 9 days now. I've been trying to get through to the surgical pods for a week. I gave up going to hydroponics to see Sadie after they started restricting access to unnecessary personnel. So now I just hang around product storage by the vending machines hoping to see her. But when I do, I just choke up. Damn, I'm so pathetic. Okay, this might be a maybe not English as a native language thing on the part of the writer, because choke and choke up are very different, but the difference in their meanings is not obvious from the actual words themselves. It's something you would have to pick up through the context of hearing people use them. I'm reading this book by Arian Sanchez. It's about the eugenics wars. It's friggin' amazing that we're even allowed to do what we do on the Groom Lake, with what happened all those years ago. I have to hide the book, though. Dr. Milan saw me reading it in the rec room, and he went totally apeshit. Threatened to burn the book and fire my ass. So now it stays under my pillow, and I sure as hell don't take it on my rounds. Instead, I bring one of the Pangean series by W.C. Dark with me. Is that his real name? Doubt it. I love Major Plothole. He's incredible. Sometimes wish I'd had the balls to be in the Marines rather than engineering. I'd love to be like him. And all the way to November. Rations arrived today. Nobody's impressed. It's all emergency shit, so hardly gourmet, but man, I wasn't expecting much, but this is seriously bad. Because food's short, people are going bug fuck. Lotus punched Malone, broke the poor bastard's nose. Steve's having trouble keeping everyone's fists off each other. I keep asking why we can't just raid hydroponics, but they keep shouting me down, especially Sadie. She looks so pissed when she sees me, but nowhere near as pissed as when she looks at Dr. Milan and Dr. Alraj Kapar. Oh, she must despise me. Why didn't I just ask her out before? Because you're a coward, Burke. A dirty, stinking coward. See, there it is, coming through. December 18th. The power went out again. I'm so freaking scared I can barely breathe. Those rumors of animals prowling around medical? No, not rumors. I saw one guy ripped apart by one of those things. I couldn't make it out too well. Pale skin tails, I think? And they move around like a pack of dogs, and they are strong. People are scared and hungry. I kept a small stash of food in my quarters. I didn't even tell Steve about it. I feel ashamed for keeping it to myself, but people are getting crazy, man. I think it might actually be against regulations to hoard food. Miglietta would kill me if he knew I had rations hidden. Come on, the guy's nuts. He practically strangled me the other day. Carswell had to restrain him. The body still freaking kills from the operation earlier. Steve was nominated to reprogram the security turrets, and the guy just went and did it. He's a hero. Not like me. December 24th. Now I'm not just a coward, I'm a friggin' murderer. Who writes friggin'? Especially this much. I used those poor bastards in stasis to keep those god-awful things from getting to me. I just unlocked the stasis units and began the recovery process. So when they staggered out of the deep freeze, those things were waiting for them. I found a product storage room that nobody was using and locked myself in. When the breach was reported, I heard the screams. I pissed myself. I fucking pissed myself. Is that any way for a real man to behave? And as I ran, I saw Sadie cradling her best friend's bloodied body in the corridor. The worst friggin' part isn't that it never occurred to me to stop. I just hoped they'd buy me the time I needed to find a hiding place. That's who Burke Carter was, whoever finds this. And I know somebody will. He was a coward. I just hope that the computer parts in this PDA come in handy to whoever finds this. If my hide was useless in life, least I could hope is that something I left behind will be useful. The computer parts in this PDA. Interesting. You know, we haven't really tried to salvage any of the machinery we've seen so far, and this will be that same... Yep. Okay. Get your tags removed. A stasis pod command control module. Seems useful. Potentially. Here's some intestines. Entrails are splayed like optic cables trailing between terminals. Judging from their sturdy construction and warning labels, these tanks must contain hazardous materials. And then there's a bunch of storage crates, not that we would know how to open them. Alright, I think we got everything out of this room that we're getting. So... I could do work on the stasis pods, I guess. Okay. Can I pull some stasis fluid
I think that'll just break.
from one of the pods?
No, that won't work.
Not any of them. Okay. It's weird because I'm allowed to like look at the terminals close up on so many of them, but I don't really think... How did you get all the way over there, John? I really don't know that I'm supposed to do much of anything in here. It's just I don't know what else all this stuff would be for. All right, let me go back and make sure that that door in the other room is actually locked. Whoa, whoa, whoa! I did not mean to select. How did I even select the loose cables without opening my inventory? That was weird. Okay, an entrance to the medical facilities. I mean, it seems locked, and I definitely shouldn't go in there with my PDT still in. Sounds like things are going super well for anybody who might be inside. I feel like we hear distant sounds of suffering, or even not that distant sounds of suffering, a lot, and we never actually happen across the people making such sounds, so I don't really know what to think. Okay, we're still only able to interact with a pretty small number of objects in this room. So we can touch the oxygen storage tank. There's this organic receptacle that we definitely don't have any stuff for. Yeah, and nothing else in here can be touched. So how do I prep the bed? I mean, I guess it's got to be this, right? The oxygen cylinder won't work, but I can probably like...
It should be useful.
Should it be? I thought I was going to connect the cable to the valve at the top, but I've wrapped cables around it. Does this make it work? Okay.
Prepared for the selected program.
I'm working on it. That's weird that worked like that. I don't know why wrapping the tube around it instead of connecting it to the... Okay, whatever. Instead of using it, as a cable would have that effect. So I need protein and fat. And it has to be good stuff. It has to be high value processed stuff. So I guess maybe I need to cannibalize this person here. I can't actually interact with this pod at all, though. Wait, my inventory appeared to be
I can't see it working like that.
That's right. I'm allowed to use items on things that don't have an interact panel. I forget that that is a thing in this game.
Can't see it working like that.
Okay, for some reason that's going to work. I don't think it really makes sense that rubbing a stasis pod chip against a terminal would have... Okay, whatever. It's fine. Okay, so... I don't actually know what I'm trying to do here. Hold on. Let me step away from the terminal and have a look at these. So... that is pointed at brain. I'm going to take some screenshots here. Let's get these so I can have them up on the other screen while I'm looking at the terminal. Okay. And that's all of them? Yeah, this one is completely not interactable. Okay. Okay, so we can change the chemicals. All right, let me grab those screenshots. I'm going to tab out here. Let's just open up the directory. Let's sort of spread these out and have a look at them. Okay, we got this, and we got that. Okay, this is kind of like information. It's information. It's similar to information. Okay. So... it's interesting to note that the 3 dots... the molecule that has 3 dots attached to it here is not the one we saw with 3 dots attached. Are they unique by body area? Oh, they are. Okay. So I'm probably looking for... assuming these other stasis pods were... doing whatever they were supposed to be doing before they broke. Okay, this is the molecule that was associated with the 3 dots on the one bit that we saw. Okay, and you also need to get the correct number of bars. I think this part's right. And then clicking on the middle doesn't do anything. Okay. So I think we just have to set all the pieces to the right settings. Alright, so the part that's pointed at the head, it has this molecule and it has 4 vertical bars. I have no idea what I am doing. This is absolutely just like copying the stuff we see on the monitors and hoping. We have another... so there's another 3 dots molecule that looks like this, and that one has 3 vertical bars associated with it. And then that's all the information that we currently have, right? Just those 3 shots. So what am I supposed to do about the rest of these? Maybe there's more information to be gathered in this room I'm not realizing. What if I just hit this now? No, of course not. Yeah, we're gonna... I'm imagining we have to get these all figured out. Stuff on this side is not actually interactable. Okay. Yeah, so I need more information than that. Where am I gonna get... are any of these... like, can I flip the monitors to another setting? Can I see more info? It looks like no. But I don't know, like, what else am I supposed to... we're certainly not meant to brute force this. Although there's not that many settings, and it doesn't take that long to... it doesn't take that long to just run through a test cycle, so we could, I suppose. Why is it when I click on this stasis pod, he runs over there? He's terrified of it. Deeply terrified. Shoot. I'm wondering, there were 3 other stasis pods in our room at the beginning. I'm wondering if those ones have diagrams on them. Did I take any pictures right at the beginning of the game? It looks like I did not. They wouldn't do that though, right? The thing is, ordinarily I'd be very against that kind of thing, like having information that you need for a puzzle in a place where you have no idea that it's information you will need. But if it's right at the beginning of the game, so you could just like bounce out of your save, go check real quick, and then come back, I don't think that's so bad, actually. I would be okay with that. So maybe it is something like that. We could certainly do that. I'll call to rest, to sleep. Yeah, I don't think I would be able to sleep in this circumstance. Seems like John isn't either. All right. Well, yeah, it really seems like the only thing to do is finish interacting with this stasis pod. My figuring is we're going to be able to gather the stasis fluid and possibly also some biomatter. From a person who I hope is not, alive and functional. Okay, let's, we can just take a quick peek. Let's save here. And see if indeed they did do that thing. New game. Can I fast forward, please? Unfortunately, there was some... all the dialogue and everything has been unskippable so far, so I worry that we may be unable to skip the opening cinematic. Nope, totally skippable. Cool. Alright, if I could just be allowed to mouse cursor around a little bit, that would be lovely. Come on, John.
Welcome to the Game Corporation Stasis Plug Suit. Please hold still while your biometric scans are completed. Heart arrhythmia. Multiple fractures along ribs 3.
I appreciate that by the time they did bone totem, they realized that there are situations where people might want to skip a line of dialogue.
Thorax. Seek immediate medical attention.
Okay.
Medical data storage is damaged. Formatting quantum storage device. Plug suit quantum storage device is ready for physical record storage.
Cool, great. Stop talking to me. Give me my cursor. Nope. All right. This stuff is not interactable. We're not going to be able to actually look at any records. It would have been an interesting way to solve the puzzle. And again, like I said, ordinarily I would not think that was a very good idea. But if it was right at the beginning of the game, right, that could be cool. The load is remarkably fast, which I do appreciate. So, how are we going to find the rest of the info? Also, what am I going to do with this random body part? We have a gun that has no bullets. We have random blood and tissue there's no obvious use for. Am I missing items or interactables or anything around here?
Truly great company is to thank all employees for their dedicated service. This year's profits are up 20% across all sectors. Life expectancy is up 5 years. We are at the cusp of greatness. In the words of Henry Kane himself.
Nope, all we did was turn the force field off. Okay.
Operation. Tomorrow's technology. Today.
Well, like I say, it totally is brute forceable. We can't get back out of medical, right? Yeah. So whatever the answer is, it must be in a relatively small area here. There's definitely no way to operate the elevator, so we can't get to another room. Well, I hate to solve a puzzle through brute force because, you know, generally people lay out solutions to things. So I'm not going to start with that. What we're going to do for right now, I think, is just call it. I'm gonna call this episode here. Thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time, I will have spent another minute or two looking around our environs, making sure I'm not missing anything terribly obvious. And if I really can't find any more information, then I guess we will just force it from the starting point that we have. So come back next time to see how that works out, and we'll see you then.